Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest, greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs, the people's channel. Not only that, the hardest working channel in all of YouTube. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about your favorite topics with your favorite guests. Today, once again, is no exception. I know I said it last time. I think this episode is going to be even better. We're going to get right into it. On the top right, we have, don't worry, he's not like inside of an iPhone right now. That is just his background. We have Your Biz, one of the top people when it comes to crypto security. Definitely check out his content. Then on the bottom right, normally he's parting the red curtain, but today he has a blue curtain behind him. It is Altcoin Daily. Congrats on the 1.1 million followers on, what was it, YouTube, correct? Or was that, yeah, on YouTube. So
Twitter.
On Twitter. I thought you were way past. Yeah, you're about 1.2 on YouTube, I think.
Exactly.
Crushing it. We love it. We love to see it. We love to see it. Ben would say it is, all because of us, allowing you to. I'm just kidding. You guys put out great content.
It's because of the community. I give all credit to everyone.
We know. Y'all putting out those videos every day. We love it. Then on the bottom left, you have to go into her live stream sometimes and ask her story about a car. She had a run-in with a car. We're not going to get into the details, but ask her the details about that. Again, there's too many hints.
Actually, I'm not going to say it here. Let's go to the next person.
All right, and then on the top left, we have Ben Armstrong holding it down. I like seeing the green behind you. Hopefully, the markets, are starting to behave accordingly as well. But we're going to be talking about Bitcoin possibly being added to the Fed balance sheet. Yeah, that's right. We got some former Feds. We got some senators. There's some talks. That's what we're going to say. Then we have a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin. A lot of people who like UST definitely going to want to hear about this. And then Warner Music's blockchain venture. Warner Music Group's not exactly a small brand. We're talking Gucci Mane. We're talking Young Thug. We're talking some actually serious. There's more regular artists on there, but those are two of my favorite. But before we get into that, you know what time it is, everybody. It is time for us to check out the markets. And let's get into it. Let's see that little plane fly around the globe real quick. Or we just cut right to it. I don't know what BJ's doing over there. But we're looking at Bitcoin right now. And right now, it's looking like... Oh, he still had to get it in. Now...
Can BJ do the voice, please?
In a moment.
He said it in a moment. He's in TD mode, technical director mode. But I'm sure it will pop up at an M.
All right, well, you
got the worst possible timing. That's when he'll jump in with it.
You got to make it up. I'm not connecting.
Say that again.
Just talk about the charts.
All right, let's talk about the charts. Not connected. Bitcoin is at 37,700. Wendy, I don't know if you can share your screen here, or if we can even. We're down about 14%. We're still a little flat, so we've been, definitely down on the 7-day. Maybe not so looking bad on the 1 day, on the 2 day here. What is it looking like, for this near term? Give it 1 second. I'm gonna hit refresh. All right, let's get into the second topic here, and that is UST stablecoins. That's right. We're talking a little Luna. The LFG, that doesn't stand for Let's Freaking Go. The Luna Foundation Guard, it's a nonprofit formed. It helps the Terra ecosystem, and it helps develop their algorithmic stablecoin. I don't want to get bogged down what an algorithmic stablecoin is. Think price goes up, they're going to burn Luna to bring it back. Price goes down, they're going to sell Luna to get it equalized. So basically, they want it pegged to Luna. Luna is up 12% today on this news. They secured $1 billion to have it backed by Bitcoin. So Luna has secured $1 billion in Bitcoin allocations here. Now, Altcoin Daily, would having a Bitcoin-backed dollar work for the U.S.? We're kind of talking about it with the last subject here. Or is that has that ship sailed since, I think Your Biz kind of alluded, since the early 70s? Will we ever see a backed dollar, whether it's a crypto, whether it's a precious metal, whether, different ones and zeros on the blockchain? Will we ever see that day?
Well, first off, it's interesting with the sale of $1 billion to form this new Bitcoin reserved algorithmic stablecoin. It's interesting because Luna, the token, that was the thing sold to buy this Bitcoin, get this reserve, yet Luna's up. And it's interesting because Luna was sold to all these major VCs that are heavily respected. Jump Capital, Three Arrows Capital, all of them are bag holders now in the Luna ecosystem, if they weren't already. In terms of what this algorithmic stablecoin brings into the mix, let me just read you a passage from LFG, which is the Luna Foundation Guard. Passage is as follows. One common criticism of the algorithmic stablecoins, generally speaking, is their reflexive nature and the hypothetical risk of a bank run scenario where demand to sell the stable outstrips supply in a way that causes compounding price decreases in both native tokens. What that means is with these stablecoins that are controlled by math algorithms, fear of a bank run. Now, if you have other assets besides USD, if you have something more stable supporting them, that could be the solution here. Now, keep in mind, the reserve created through the $1 billion sale will provide, and I quote, an additional avenue to maintain the peg in contradictory cycles that reduces the reflexivity of the system. So I guess I quote you the direct passage to give you their mindset and just say, hopefully, this is one more avenue that, you know, we'll have a safe haven to put our money if a quote unquote bank run happens, if markets go to hell.
Yeah, we saw that with stablecoins. Mark Cuban, I'm sure he knows all about that. Now, Wendy, definitely chime in. And if you could, Altcoin Daily brought up a good point. Luna's up 12%. Bitcoin's down about 1%, which is weird. You know, they're selling Luna to buy the Bitcoin. Jump in. And is there anything the charts are telling you about this coin? Is this looking like a little overbought at the moment, perhaps?
I haven't looked at the chart, but I have an interesting question that I think that we should all contemplate and think about. So if the foundation took their token and sold it to these big VCs, generally that's an OTC deal, I'm assuming, so it doesn't impact the market for volatility. But I want to know what they sold to these VCs at, because these VCs are not going to be technically bag holders, because they probably purchased a large amount and they were probably paying undervalue for it. So they can basically go and like set a bunch of limit orders and take profit, or they can do a sale OTC to another entity. So that would be my next question, is how much they acquired that much Luna for, and whatnot. I think that should be made transparent. I don't know if it is or not, but it should be made transparent. Right. I think it's kind of cool.
Let's stay on that. Ben, you know, you usually, you like to have some insight on these VCs and these backdoor deals. Do you think that they got it at a cheap price and maybe, you know, have to hold it X amount of months? Do you think there was a deal like that? Or do you think they're paying the same price that the average Joe is paying here?
That's a pretty good question. I would assume they, you know, bought it all over the counter. And look, here's the fact. Over-the-counter deals have deals. No one buys something over the counter for exactly the price of Bitcoin. So in some cases, you will be, chat says to wave to prove we are live. We're live, guys. Sorry. We had an issue. We had a technical issue, you know, but we got it fixed. We got phenomenal people here, Jack and BJ. They fixed it. So great job, guys. We love our people that work here. So, but yeah, so when it comes to this, over-the-counter deals always come with a deal. So I actually got like in the middle, it was 2018, maybe 2019. I got in the middle of a bunch of OTC deals. None of them ever panned out. You know, there were people, it's a very sketchy market, the OTC market, but they're always looking for a deal. And it's not just the people that are, you know, they're trying to meet somewhere. You know, the people that are buying it are always trying to buy it for a discount. The people that are selling it are always trying to sell it for more expensive, because they know that they can only go over the counter to get a huge amount of Bitcoin like that. So, yeah, I'm sure there was certainly a deal worked out. I'm sure, you know, but the question is, they pay more or less for it. You don't really know, but they certainly didn't pay the exact amount for it.
Yeah. Now, Mind Your Biz, as our resident mining expert here, you probably know better than anyone here what will happen with tokenomics when you burn supply and add supply, and how that changes the volume and the tokenomics and the price action that comes from that. Now, due to all this, you know, with the burning of the Luna and the way that it's algorithmically stabilized here, is this a winning strategy for Luna? We've seen it fail in the past.
Well, first off, that's absolutely true. It perfectly logically follows that being an expert in mining, I am also an expert in algorithmic stablecoins. I appreciate you acknowledging that, DZ. It's about time I got my due. Thank you. But at any rate, I think this is probably not a bad strategy for Luna. At this point, you figure when we do see that algorithmic stablecoins are suffering from what could be a problem with the algorithm they use to back up the value of their stablecoins, then it makes sense to have some kind of a collateral as a basis for the value of that coin supply. I mean, I wish there were more algorithmic stablecoins from years past that went that extra mile that they're doing right now to have something of value backing up a treasury, just in case they did hit a death spiral. And the way that they have their mint and burn tokenomics, just as described in the article that we're all working from, the mint and burn tokenomics of their algorithm, that is problematic. In the event that they get into a downward movement, it's absolutely a downward spiral. It suppresses price of Luna, the core asset, and also messes with the supply of the stablecoin, which people are going to be using ostensibly to work within that ecosystem. So, I mean, it could be absolutely runaway death spiral in any other case. Seeing them get really serious about buying something, anything, and frankly, I don't care what it is. It could be a competing product in not just within the Cosmos ecosystem, but within the DeFi ecosystem from, say, Ethereum or from Cardano. I really wouldn't care as long as they have something in the treasury that is not their own native asset. So yeah, I think it's extremely important to see that, and shoring up the value of any kind of a stable coin or any kind of a digital representation of fiat or money as we know it. It's so important. As you mentioned before, and as I brought up earlier, 1971 took us way off track here in the United States, and just it's little baby steps like this within the crypto sphere that helps us get back on track.
All right, love that. Well, let's get to the third topic here, and that is, oh wait,
Hold
Wendy,
on.
jump in.
Didn't Ampleforth do something similar?
Ampleforth,
They have a
from,
rebase.
I don't know if they're. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
Similar,
far as
yeah.
buying something for a treasury, I don't know if they did. I know that their rebasing algorithm was extremely dangerous because it had a built-in death spiral when rebasing its value. Algorithms are tricky because they're unforgiving, right? They don't pay
that's why
attention
all
to
those
the broader
rebasing
market
tokens
conditions.
went away.
Yeah, exactly.
They were fun to trade,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they all went away. Okay, I'm done. That's all.
All right. Well, let's get to the third topic here. Warner Music Group, and I was just kind of looking at some of these groups while we were down. Atlanta Music Group. Let's see, I can zoom in a little bit. Sniper Gang Records, 808 Mafia. Of course, Maybach Music Group. If you're listening to rap 12, 13, 14 years ago, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing that at least, once an hour. So a lot of big groups. Guwap. I mean, yeah, Gucci Man. Shout out to the Atlanta rappers out there. But they're teaming up with the huge block game that I was actually surprised is #1 over the past 7 days. That's right. I'm talking Splinterlands. Somewhere Stash is twirling his mustache too. I love it. 1.8 million registered users, 450,000 daily users, which is actually kind of a lot for a blockchain game, and 1 billion battles has taken place so far with this game. So they're going to collaborate. They're going to, allow some of these Warner Music artists to collaborate with these games. We don't know what that is going to look like exactly. Are they going to build their own games? Are they just going to put the music library on these games? That remains to be seen. But Ben, I know you love rap. I know you love Atlanta rap. We have a big company jumping in here. What excites you the most about, this upcoming merge of music and blockchain? Is it the audience? Is it, games actually having good music? Is it, power back to the artists, power back to the fans? What excites you the most here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing I get really excited about is, bringing power back to the artist. I mean, look, one of our most famous groups we ever had here in Atlanta, TLC, right? We love TLC. They, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. It's actually a song that was written about, more than 25 years ahead of its time. It was actually like, don't go chasing, 1,000x altcoins in the bottom, 10,000 a coin market cap. That was actually what that was about. Please stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Make sure the bulk of your portfolio is in Bitcoin and Ethereum and the other top coins. But if you've ever watched behind the music of TLC, like they hardly made any money, right? But when you think about their songs, no scrubs, all that stuff, who do you think of? You think of them. You don't think of the producer behind them. You don't think of the label behind them. You don't think about the songwriter. They may have. I don't know who wrote the songs. They may have wrote Left Eye, I think, was one of the big writers there. But RIP, God bless her soul. But it's such a bad. But it's not. It's such a bad story. But it's such a common story, and I hate that. Like if you look at Tom McDonald, like we love Tom McDonald on this channel. Like he's awesome. He is like the biggest independent artist out there. He sells the most records. His YouTube, videos go out of control. He's got such a strong community that he's built. without a label, absolutely without a label, 100% independent. They make all their own music videos. They do everything. And he's trying to flip that kind of paradigm on its head, saying you don't have to have all these labels. But what if there were people out there that were creating, NFT labels that are for the artist, where they flip the paradigm on the head, and instead of the artist getting a little bit of money, the artists are getting the rights to their own songs, so they're getting the majority of the money. The fact that music has become this kind of industry, and thank God for TikTok. TikTok has actually flipped a lot of this, where it is making avenues for independent artists and new artists and people you've never heard of to be able to make an income through their music. It's time that finally these artists start getting recognized financially the same way that they get recognized, notoriety wise when it comes to their songs. It's just so sad the way the music industry has just been, and you see this with so many industries, it's just, the producers act like succubus, I think they're like, female demons that try to suck the blood out of their
they're male
mates.
demons that try to take everything out, because they're the ones that are being predatory against the artists,
right?
Yes, thank you. Because it's not women, it's dudes that are doing it.
Well, right. I was just using it as an example, you know what I mean? But look, we're certainly
way to underscore the gender wage gap.
Once it's my turn, I got a lot of things to say.
All right, well, Wendy, I'm gonna bring it to you. I'll give you a nice general question, so you can kind of take a left turn or a right turn if you want to. We can't really talk about decentralized, NFTs and the music industry without mentioning Audius. But Audius really hasn't taken off like, we were hoping it would a year ago. Why do you think that is? Is this a UI issue? Will it never be easier to play an NFT versus, a Spotify or Apple Music? What will it take for Audius to hit that next level? And feel free to just, roam all over the landscape here.
So I think that people in the Solana ecosystem got a little bit lazy because price pumped so hard with Solana. I feel like they kind of got lazy because they created so many different projects, so many different really cool platforms, and we're not really seeing a whole lot of growth happen, which is kind of weird. But, at the same time, I understand developing takes some time. But kind of going back to what Ben said about how terrible the music industry is. There's not just the record labels that go after these guys in a predatory fashion. There's merchandising rights, there's licensing rights, there's everything in between. And a lot of these young artists, or artists in general, they grow up super poor. They don't have, they didn't have access to money or anything like that. So these predatory people come and say, we'll give you $1 million for your branding rights or your merchandising rights or whatever rights it is. So these people, they just sign it off because they're like, wow, $1 million is whatever. But if you look at the Ramones, everybody and their mom owns a Ramone shirt, and they sold their licensing rights for like $100,000 back in the 70s or 80s, and their living family members are getting none of those licensing rights, like none of the money sold from the shirts. So that's why NFTs are so important. And I also kind of want to segue, like crypto, I love crypto, but at the same time, the industry tries to capitalize on so many things, like these generative pieces that people are making. Those are cool, like whatever, like artists, I hope, just as long as artists are getting compensated for it. But realistically, NFTs were created for artists, for people that are actually trying to have ownership or prove that, hey, I own this. Maybe it can be for healthcare, for real estate, whatever it is. So I feel like the industry is super new. We're still maturing. We're still figuring out what avenue we want to go down. But I love to see big names like Splinterlands and Gala kind of go work with these large companies and help artists get their merchandising, but their rights back. And that's what NFTs are for. And that's why I support them.
All right, Mind Your Biz. Do you think that it's possible that this could be a new gold rush? She brought up Gala. We have been working with Snoop Dogg pretty closely. Now we have Warner Music Group, working with Splinterlands. Oftentimes when you see something like this, it's a domino effect. Next thing you know, Sony's going to get in, maybe Axo, different games are going to start having all these, meetings with these music executives potentially. Do you think that's a possible scenario that's going to play out over the next, 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's inevitable at this point. When you have Warner Music Group jumping into the space, and first off, I want to jump back a little bit. Incubus is a band I have no real opinion on. I don't even know how that came up before, but I want to distance myself now.
One of the few rock bands. It's alternative music that I would say that I like.
That was a perfect circle back. But go ahead, Mine.
Oh, did you just say perfect circle back? Oh my God.
That was good. I don't care what y'all say. That was a good one.
That was really good. And most people probably won't get how good that was, but I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Mine.
well, I mean, to
Go
get
ahead.
all that
None
out
of
of our
the rest.
system, guys. Okay, on
What a
on bans,
tool.
Primus
What a
sucks.
tool DZ is.
Let's move on. What? No. Yeah. On that note, though, Warner Music Group, with them jumping in with some of these other labels, it's only going to take one or two of them before the rest of them FOMO in. That's what they do. That's been their playbook for the last, all of our lifetimes, probably combined, right? For as long as they've existed as business entities. They check to see who's got star power, what's hot, how can we emulate it? Do we already have somebody signed that does what they do? Is there any way we can outmarket them? They're a business like any other. So on the one hand, yes, they fight aggressively, and in some cases, maybe even a little bit dirty in order to preserve their interests, and it winds up harming the creators on some level. I've got nothing personal against like Warner Music Group or Sony, but I have read the stories of these groups, not just TLC, but some of the other groups that have been signed by all the major labels for as long as we've been alive, and some of them have been in like debt service to these labels since the mid 80s, early 90s until now. Like they're still under contract. Some of these contracts are so prohibitive. But does that mean that there's like as soon as Warner Music Group and some of the others jump into the blockchain scene and into the play to earn scene and into the metaverse, that others will follow? Yes. As soon as they see there's any kind of financial incentive to do so, they're going to be on board. They're going to adjust their royalty payout structures. They're going to make sure that it benefits them. But now in this new paradigm, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed. I think most of us are hoping this is the case. Artists will stand a shot at fairer treatment. I think what's going to be difficult, though, and maybe where I differ in opinion a bit from Ben, is that some of these platforms like TikTok, they've created soundbite culture where we already had, like, we saw Vine come and go, right? We saw several other platforms where short form, it's very witty and it's very to the point, but it creates this appetite and this taste in pop culture audiences for something that is nothing more than like just a bar, maybe just a ditty that's stuck in their heads. And so you wind up getting like where you have these like Swedish beat factories from the late 1990s till now that like have basically dominated everything we've ever heard in pop music. We're basically handing that much more power to these guys who are like whatever basement savants, like, okay, how can I combine the next 4 chords to like basically put people onto auditory crack cocaine? And I think that we're going to have a problem with that if we continue to pursue that path into this new paradigm of metaverse and Web3 backed music. But I am excited to see Warner Music Group taking this thing seriously. And to your core question, I'd love to see Sony and others step in, and artists equally just step up and say, look, we're gonna go with you this direction. We're gonna go this place, but it's not gonna be like before. We will not accept the terms that were offered to us before.
Renegade. Oh, sorry. Filming. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It's a soundbite culture with that for sure. Now, Altcoin Daily, kind of the same question, but a different side of the coin here. I definitely agree with mine. I do think other music labels will jump on other games. But let's talk about Warner for a second. Warner does more than music. There's Warner Media, and I save this for you. You're our industry guy here. They have everything from Looney Tunes to Matrix, everything in between. There's a lot of IP at stake here. Do you see Warner? Is this Warner Media kind of sticking their toes into this crypto pool? Do you expect more stuff in the future from their other branches of their company?
Just want to give a little round of applause for Warner Music Group officially entering into the metaverse. And DZ, you might say that, hey, when they sold their first NFT, that was their jump into the metaverse. Hey, when they
you
bought
stole
land
the words
in
out of my
Sandbox,
mouth. I was about to say that.
When they bought their first land in Sandbox, maybe that was their first foray into the metaverse. To me, this was the official welcoming, and let me tell you why. And let's just clear this up first right off the bat. Metaverse is sort of a catch-all term. In my mind, metaverse can be anything, any digital extension of your analog life. So your Instagram account could technically be, your digital life in the metaverse. This could easily be the metaverse. The blockchain component of the metaverse adds that verifiability, could be digital scarcity. It adds that next component. But the reason I say this is the foray for Warner Group is because with their already dominance with all those labels you listed off in music, the interoperability component, to me, is what we'll look back on in maybe 10 years and be like, okay, this is the metaverse. Meaning when those artists sell their first, their next album, they put it out to their fans. Maybe every single person that buys that album in the first weekend, they get a special NFT, a special verifiable token that they were there. Now that they're partnered up with Splinterlands, maybe that allows those people that bought the album to get a special avatar in the play to earn space. Maybe only they can go on special quests. Maybe those people that compete on special quests will have first access into the next album. Like, all this verifiable ownership on the blockchain could have been done before without a, quote unquote metaverse component. But what this allows major labels and individual artists to do is just take that next step into the metaverse world. And I think that's what we're seeing with this first domino with Warner.
All right. Altcoin Daily, yes or no? Are we going to see a Bugs Bunny NFT?
I hope so. And I hope LeBron James is right there next to him.
Okay, that was good. That was a good tie-in. Wendy, did you want to add anything? We're about to wrap it up here. I think I saw, maybe it was Yoda.
Yeah,
I think
just
it was
really
Yoda.
quickly. I just want to remind everybody to please give all of these terms like Web3, Metaverse, DeFi, whatever it is, please give people time to continue to develop this stuff. We're basically still in beta testing for literally every single crypto project for the most part, besides Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. That's all.
All right. Yeah, we definitely in beta testing, but if you want that alpha, check out NFT Alpha, the new channel. But that is all we got time for today. It looks like Mind Your Biz and Yoda is going to sign us off here. Mind Your Biz. Go ahead. Leave us with some parting thoughts, man. It was a great job.
Hey, thanks so much, guys, for having me back on the show. First thing I just want to say is I appreciate the Around the Blockchain crew and love being on this show with such great thought leaders in the space. It's truly humbling for me. So anybody who's watching right now, in addition to going to sub to Mind Your Biz, which you can get to by going to sub.myb.lol, be sure you're subscribed. Don't lurk, come back, because this is all the kids know this is where the candy is.
I don't have a comment on that, but go ahead, smash that like if you like Tool. Clearly you guys do. And that's all we got time for today. Until next time, BitSquad. Easy out.